3 on your side. WLBT News starts now.
And happening now, widespread damage all across the city of Macomb after a tornado-warned storm strikes just before noon. Residents now dealing with downed trees and power lines, power outages, and some houses are damaged tonight. Tonight, we are live with team coverage. Our crews are in Pike, Rankin, Hinds, and Madison counties with the latest developments on flooding and storm damage. But first, we're going to check in with Rachel Coulter and get a quick break from these storms, but it's heating back up, huh?
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a short-lived break, unfortunately. We're going to see more storms move in as we head into the next few days. So even though this line of storms that moved through earlier today has pushed off to the south for the most part, we're going to be looking at a couple of more rounds even through the rest of the work week and into the weekend as well. Let's talk about what we're dealing with now, though. We do have some of those showers continuing to impact our southernmost counties. So if you zoom in, I'm going to show you what we're talking about. Collins down towards Seminary, out towards Bassfield, seeing some moderate showers now. Although this line is receding, we're still seeing some rain even down into Walthall County. Tylertown picking up on moderate showers across the entire area. This extends out towards Macomb, where we saw lots of damage earlier today from those storms. And then you move farther west into Wilkinson County, down 61 into Woodville and 563, still seeing rain there. But again, if you're in the Jackson metro, you're dry, but we're going to see more rain move into the area, just a matter of when, which I'll be timing out for you and talking a little bit more about this flash flood watch that has been issued for the entire area in just a few minutes.
So just how much damage has Macomb suffered? Teams are still assessing tonight. A little before noon today, a tornado-warned storm whipped through town, packing a powerful punch. 3 on your side's David Kenny is there with new developments.
Yeah, we're on Cherokee Drive on the west side of Macomb, and take a look down the street here. You can see power lines down, trees uprooted. It is quite a mess, and the destruction and path of damage starts from this side of town and goes all the way across the city here. And tonight, residents just trying to do whatever they can to clean up. This neighborhood I'm in right now does not have power. I spoke to Pike County EMA Director Richard Coughlin a short time ago. He says they have roughly 45 trees down in the city and even more in the county. Some are entangled in power lines. There are numerous streets still blocked and may remain blocked until tomorrow. There are about 9 houses that suffered damage from those falling trees. There was one mobile home fire caused by lightning that had to be put out. Witnesses report seeing a funnel cloud above the trees whipping through with hurricane force winds.
And I got a notice that it was a tornado in the area, but we get them all the time. So I guess we need to, pay attention to them every time. And so, but this time, I mean, it was rocking. I mean, the van was rocking back and forth, and trees were swaying, and it was pounding pretty good.
I spoke to Mayor Cordelia Lockley a short time ago. He says he's declared a state of emergency for the city of Macomb. His biggest concern tonight as residents begin the cleanup is power lines on trees. He says they also have many people who have been displaced by the storm because their homes were damaged. And tonight, as I said, many homes in the dark here because power is out throughout many portions of this city. In Macomb, David Kenny, 3 on your side.
Now, here in the capital city, the storm's also taking a toll. Mayor Chokwe Antar-Lumumba declaring a state of emergency for the city of Jackson. 3 on your side's Maggie Wade is live now with new details.
Well, Howard, we are standing here at Jackson City Hall right outside the office for Mayor Chokwe Antar-Lumumba, and the mayor did say he has talked with state officials as well as county officials declaring a state of emergency for the city of Jackson as a result of the severe weather, the flash flooding throughout the city. Hinds County officials also saying a state of emergency declared for Hinds County. Now, the mayor is urging everyone, if you don't have to be out on the roadways, don't be out there unnecessarily. He is also emphasizing the importance of not moving barricades and not walking or driving through flooded areas because you never know how deep the water is. One other thing he's also letting citizens know about is that there are sandbags, 10,000 sandbags available at Central Supply. That's located at 4225 Michael Avalon Street. You can go there and get sand or sandbags. And again, that's because at least 10 homes in the Presidential Hills area took on water as well as other areas. There There's also a planned power outage that will begin at 8 tonight for downtown Jackson. That is planned to allow Entergy to make repairs on a blown transformer, and that was at Lamar and Capitol Streets. The streets affected: east of Lamar Street, north of Pascagoula Street, and west of State Street. The mayor is also letting everyone know he wants to emphasize that they have boats on the standby as well as high water rescue vehicles in case they are needed. Reporting live from Jackson City Hall, Maggie Wade, 3 on your side.
Now, we've been following up on your social media, your calls and emails all day about where you've seen flooding here in the capital city. Right now, 3 on your side's Courtney Ann Jackson is here in the studio with that video and more.
Howard, we received several phone calls about a Jim Hill and Isabel Elementary School. This video was taken outside of Jim Hill, but we're told crews from the district and city were working to drain water from that area, and none of the flooding was inside the schools. Here's a look at some of the other flooding impacts within the city. Areas around Terry Road battled flash flooding for much of the morning. This Popeyes parking lot had water rushing through it and even flowing in through the back door, as you see from the viewer video.
It's a creek in the back, and it floods. That's why it's a creek down on the end behind our store. And when it floods, we floods. And it also knocked our gate down. Our gate is somewhere down the road. Cars that had already been parked were unable to pass through. Employees say it's the norm when there are heavy rains, but it rises quickly. It's like over our ankles. It's high. The auto shop employees next door thought it would be better this go around.
City was out here all these streets yesterday, but they cleaned it up real good on this end, and they got the ditch looking good. I don't know where all the other stuff come from.
There are similar questions on Lakeward Drive. Part of the New Summit Schools Administration and Families First for Mississippi buildings flooded.
We have talked to beg the city to help us because we've spent already several $100,000 trying to fix what's on our property, but we can't fix all of the public property and the damage that is taking place 100 acres before us. We're just catching that public property problem.
Water runs through culverts in a ditch that crosses into the facility's property and then into Mays Lake. Despite clearing the area and building retention walls, the water got into the buildings today.
We're not complaining so much, we're begging for help from the city.
I'm told the mayor and Councilman DeKeither Stamps have now contacted them to see how they can begin discussions on improvements. Now, Howard, as you saw there, water had already started to recede in a lot of those areas where it was today. But of course, the concern now, as we've heard Maggie and others mention, is more rain headed this way. So those businesses kind of on high alert. Some of them that are closed during the weekend will now be in place over the weekend to keep an eye on things.
Rachel's going to tell us more about all that rain in a moment. Right. But Madison County also feeling the flooding effects from this storm system. 3 on your side's Therese Apel is live in Ridgeland with news about a water rescue there.
That's right, Howard. We're out here on Rice Road where the water has receded some. Earlier today it was covering the street and made the street impassable. It was closed for a while. There's some structures in the area that came dangerously close to taking on water today, and more rain is expected in the area for the next few days. Throughout the metro area today, there were rescues as people went around barricades, ignoring the old saying, "Turn around, don't drown." In Ridgeland today, a woman found herself in a precarious position, even though she ultimately tried to heed that advice.
We had an individual who was actually traveling northbound on Ridgewood, either went around the barricade or was inside the barricade when the water started coming across, noticed the water, attempted to turn around, going into one of the businesses, but couldn't see the driveway, dropped off into the ditch, and then the current swept her vehicle down towards one of the drainage culverts.
The woman, who has not been identified, just couldn't see where the road was and where the ditch was.
She was actually trying to do the right thing, turn around, but however the water had gotten to a point to where the white line wasn't visible, and she ran off the side of the road as opposed to turning into the driveway.
It was the quick thinking of the employees at Green's Tire and Auto Service that ensured the woman was pulled safely out of her submerged car. While none of them would talk to us on camera, we were told that one of the rescuers signaled to her to roll down her window, and he pulled her through it. Wilridge said if the water is covering the road to the point that you can't see the white lines, you don't need to be driving on that road. So with more rain in the forecast, if you needed something else to remind you to turn around, don't drown, that's good advice. In Ridgeland, for WLBT, I'm Therese Apel.
Well, the heavy storms across Mississippi this morning also leaving parts of Rankin County underwater. 3 on your side, Summer Tadlock is live with details on how residents in that area are coping with it.
That's right, Howard. I'm here at the Pine Brook subdivision just off of Hugh Ward. I want you guys to check out this water line. This is how high floodwaters were during today's storms. I spoke with people in the area impacted by today's storms. Stephen Patton lives in the Pine Brook subdivision and says he has never seen waters this high.
Well, I've been stuck here at the house, which fortunately I was off work today, but wouldn't have been able to leave once that rain hit. It came up pretty quick.
Patton says the Pine Brook subdivision has a bigger issue that leads to regular flooding in the neighborhood.
I know part of our problem, at least here at this location, is a drainage creek that runs behind some of these houses, and kind of a standoff between developer and county as to who's responsible for keeping that land clear so that the waters will run off.
Josh McCory's neighborhood was also one that experienced heavy flooding. McCory lives in the Stonebridge subdivision in Brandon.
It's pretty tough for some people. I mean, especially like, you know, the people right here behind me, if they got to get in or out of their driveway and the water's up, they can't really do that. And you just never know when it's going to happen, when it's going to go down.
Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey says they have been working nonstop to protect those in the community.
At one point, I'm guessing we probably had 20, 25 roads covered with water that were impassable. Just approximately 25 to 30 houses had water in them, and I'm guessing around 15 to 20 people evacuated from their house by emergency personnel.
So the bad news is rain is expected to pick back up again in the morning. But the good news is 3 on your side will be right here for you all day tomorrow, keeping you updated. For now, live in Rankin County, Summer Tadlock, 3 on your side.
And for the latest developments with the weather, you can download our free First Alert weather app.
Temperatures right now have cooled down because of all of the showers and storms that we saw. So we're in the 60s in some locations, but more rain is on the way. I'll be timing that out just after the break.